A huge man rushed into the ward. What the new nurse did next shocked everyone. The automatic doors of the hospital ward slammed open with a force that echoed down the sterile corridor, and in that instant, fear swept through the room like a sudden storm. A huge man staggered inside, his broad shoulders hunched, his clothes torn and stained, his breathing heavy and uneven. His eyes burned with panic and pain, not rage, yet to everyone watching, he looked like danger itself. Nurses froze mid-step, a cart rattled to a stop, and even the experienced doctors felt a tightening in their chests. No one knew why he was there, only that he did not belong, and that something was terribly wrong. If you believe that kindness still has the power to change lives, that second chances matter even in the darkest moments, then take a second right now to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to Ripple of Kindness. Let us know in the comments what kindness means to you. The man's boots left faint marks on the polished floor as he lurched forward, every step unsteady, every breath sounding like it might be his last. Security had not yet arrived. The ward, usually filled with controlled urgency, now felt fragile, like glass about to shatter. At the far end of the room stood a new nurse, barely weeks into her first real hospital assignment. Her uniform still felt stiff to her, her name badge too shiny, as if it hadn't yet earned the weight of experience behind it. She had seen difficult patients before, but nothing like this, nothing that made the room feel so small and so helpless all at once. Her heart pounded against her ribs, loud enough that she was sure others could hear it. Every instinct screamed at her to step back, to let someone else handle it. She was new. She was untested. One wrong move could cost her job, or worse. Around her, senior staff hesitated, their faces caught between protocol and fear. The huge man raised his arm, not in attack but in desperation, and the motion alone made several people flinch. What no one else noticed, what fear had blinded them to, was the way his body betrayed him. The way his knees trembled under his own weight. The way his shoulders sagged, not with aggression, but with exhaustion. The dark stain spreading across his side was not just dirt or grime. It was blood, fresh and frightening, soaking through fabric that had already given up holding it back. The new nurse took a step forward. It was a small movement, barely noticeable, yet it changed everything. The room seemed to hold its breath. She did not raise her voice. She did not reach for alarms or call for restraints. Instead, she planted her feet firmly, grounding herself the way she had been taught, and focused not on the size of the man, but on the human being inside that wounded body. Her hands shook as she lifted them, palms open, a universal sign of calm. Her fear did not vanish, but something stronger pushed through it, an understanding that if she backed away now, the man might collapse, bleed out, or be treated like a threat instead of a patient. She had chosen this profession to heal, not to judge who deserved care. The huge man swayed, his strength failing him at last. When his weight shifted suddenly, it was the nurse who caught him, bracing herself with more courage than muscle. Gasps rippled through the ward as she struggled to keep him upright, her uniform instantly marked by the same blood that stained his clothes. For a heartbeat, it looked impossible, this slight, inexperienced nurse supporting a man twice her size. Yet she did not let go. Something remarkable happened in that moment. The tension in the man's body eased. His wild eyes softened, confusion replacing panic. It was as if, for the first time since bursting through those doors, he realized he was not surrounded by enemies. He was surrounded by people who could help. The nurse guided him down, carefully, patiently, refusing to rush even as others finally moved in to assist. Doctors snapped out of their shock and began working. Equipment rolled closer. Orders were given. The ward returned to motion, but it was different now, focused, purposeful, united. As the man was placed on a bed, the truth of his condition became clear. He had been injured badly, likely long before he arrived. He had not come to cause harm. He had come because this was the last place he believed might save his life. Somewhere along the way, fear and pain had stripped him of dignity, leaving only raw desperation. The new nurse stayed by his side as he was treated, her hands steady now, her voice calm. She monitored his vitals, anticipated what the doctors needed, and did not once step away, even when her legs ached and her heart still raced. In her mind, she replayed every doubt she had ever had about herself, every fear that she wasn't strong enough, brave enough, experienced enough for this job. And with every second she stood there, those doubts began to loosen their grip. When security finally arrived, they paused, taking in the scene before them. There was no chaos to control, no threat to remove. Only a wounded man receiving care, and a nurse who had already done what mattered most. Hours later, when the ward had settled and the crisis had passed, whispers spread among the staff. Not about the size of the man or the danger he might have posed, but about the courage of the nurse who had stepped forward when no one else did. Senior doctors nodded with quiet respect. Nurses who had worked decades exchanged looks of awe. They all knew that what they had witnessed could not be taught from a manual. It came from character. The huge man survived. In the days that followed, he learned what had happened, how close he had come to dying alone in a hallway of fear. He learned that a new nurse, someone with every reason to step back, had instead stepped in. That knowledge changed him. Gratitude replaced the shame he carried. Hope replaced the anger he had worn like armor. For the nurse, the experience left a mark deeper than any stain on her uniform. She walked differently now, not with arrogance, but with quiet confidence. She understood that being a healer was not about seniority or strength, but about seeing the humanity in front of you, even when it is hidden behind fear. If this story has touched your heart even a little, please take a moment to like the video, share it with someone who believes in compassion, and subscribe to Ripple of Kindness.